Bisu at this point now just getting his shuttle. We're going to see what actually try to do some economic damage, but that is going to load up his 2 high Templar. So that is the plan. He's going to try to do a high Templar drop. And I definitely think Free had an observer there, so Free knows this is on the way, putting down cannon inside of his main, probably going to maneuver his Dragoons around so he can catch that shuttle. Free's going to know this is coming, going to see whether he knows exactly where it's coming, from what direction, probably going to remaneuver some of his forces, possibly remaneuver some of his observers. Not really doing too much like that in the main at this point. Doesn't really have much in the way of defending except for one single cannon. So Bisu might actually be able to do a pretty good job of catching this. Free, it's going to be critical here with the B section match. Going to fly right into the path of the cannon, but it's going to drop. Storm's going to go off, catch a lot of probes. Some of them trying to run off, but being caught. There are also 2 Zealots inside of the shuttle for Bisu. He's just going to use those to take the shots from the cannons and the probes. A pretty decent amount of damage from against the probes there for Bisu. So Bisu trying to come back into this game with high tempo. Free also has his own high tempo, actually establishing the lower left-hand base, while Bisu establishing the upper right-hand base. So both players, Bisu, we'll see. I'm not quite sure if that equalized the match. I'm not quite sure if that did it for Bisu. I'm not quite sure if that's enough. Free now also has a Dragoon there to help defend. Not quite sure if that's 100% enough. I still think Bisu could go for a full drop. And then we're just now seeing the poll. 79% think that Bisu will take this. 21% think that Free will take this. I think the poll is definitely justified, especially with Bisu currently probably being, if not the best, then one of the best PvP players around. Doing a great job. Free so has established his lower left-hand base. And Bisu just now establishing his upper right. You can see his main very bad. Forge upgrading weapons. So at this point, it's going. The tech in this PvP is all over the place. Free now getting his 6th gateway up. I'm not sure if Bisu is still on 4. Most likely has more up at this point. And Bisu actually moving up with a rather sizable force. A pretty big army. Speed upgrading Zeals. I'm not quite sure if he has weapons 1. No weapons 1 so far. For Free, Bisu probably going to wait on his weapons 1 before he tries to go for an attack. As soon as he gets his weapons 1, he's going to go for it, try to push in, try to finish this off, just take any single small advantage that he has. He's not going to be able to do a high Templar drop on the main of Freeze again. The probes are pretty well defended. He could actually, I think even the lower left-hand position is defended pretty decently. Archon's also out in the field for Free, so those are really going to be able to help up do a lot of damage against those Zealots are going to be running in. Observers not killing each other. It is going to be an engagement. Bisu does have the high ground. Free's going to start pushing up. Those storms going off, not hitting anything for Free. Now we're just going to see how he manages. Bisu storming suffers both. Storms going off from both forces. Pretty decent storms from Bisu, catching a lot of forces. Now even more storms coming in for Free. Free being caught by storms as he runs up the ramp and as he runs back down. So I think he actually was a bad engagement for him. Did not manage to storm anything with his initial storm and actually lost some forces. Bisu now morphing in an Archon. And Free was not too effective, ran right into storms and run back right into more storms. Bisu, of course, stacked a couple of storms upon each other to do some extra damage. Yeah, Bisu at this point producing from 8 gateways, actually, managing to produce a crap load of forces from 8 gateways, just trying to use his economy to max. I think he's actually slowly getting back in this game. I think Free should have been able to do a lot of damage by now. Bisu again thinking of going for a move here. He has to be really careful when he goes for this. There's a cannon Dragoon waiting for him there. The storm off, catch it. 2 storms coming in. They caught something. The High Templar are going to be taken out. And oh, there were a couple, even more. Another storm being blown off, but not catching anything this time. Bisu did manage 1 storm to make the probes run away, and the 2nd storm for the probes to run right into. Beautiful attacks there for Bisu. Bisu actually establishing the inside 11 o'clock base here on Carthage 3. I think I completely neglected to mention that at the beginning of the match. Some random Zealots running out forward for Free. I think Free actually does not have any weapons upgrades, but Bisu does have weapons upgrade. Now going for the lower left-hand corner base. Free does have some, meanwhile, has some forces running in at the north up to Bisu's bases. Bisu, meanwhile, just sending a huge contingent of Zealots. There's storms going off everywhere. Bisu getting a huge number of storms off. Free not only managing a few storms, catching some Zealots, but Bisu with a lot more High Templar out in the field and managing to catch a lot more forces. Now Free finally hits his own High Templar moving in, catching, oh, so many Dragoon deaths. Bisu not managing, managing to micro Dragoons, probably not microing his Dragoons, getting the caught right underneath the storm. Bisu probably focusing on the lower left-hand base, which is now taken out. So if Bisu manages to completely hold Free, he's going to be in a very good position. This weapons 1 advantage for Bisu was really helpful. Free, however, also now has weapons 1. I think it got delayed a little bit. Bisu has even more forces at his natural span, just waiting and taking that base down. I think Bisu might actually be able to take this game. I'm not really sure. He came back into this. Free gave him too much open space. Another storm going off for Bisu. Beautiful storm. He has another storm coming off, killing Dragoons left and right. Bisu with beautiful play, beautiful micro so far. Free not quite managed to catch him off. Should be actually be able to take this engagement. But reinforcements coming from Bisu. A lot of zealots running and surrounding the Archon, so the splash isn't as effective. Trying to surround all the zealots there. Not going to run back a little bit because Free also has zealots of his own. High Templar and Dragoons coming in to reinforce for Bisu. Bisu, we're going to probably see some storms for as soon as he gets them in position. Gonna force Free back though, so Bisu is taking this game. Has a fourth base coming back, while Free sticking on 3. Took his inside 5 o'clock. Another storm coming up for Bisu, catching some High Templar, I believe. Actually, never mind. I think that might have been Free's storm. But you could tell the look on Free's face that he's not too happy about the result of that match. And I need a sip or something. Oh my god, that was a beautiful engagement. Bisu's coming back. How the hell he has managed to do this, I do not know. This is a very awesome, very non-standard PvP. It's not that often that you see a ground-based force PvP only. It's honestly the way both players are playing. They have forces that you use in a PvZ, honestly. No Reavers, just observers. I don't know what you expect. Both players can't afford to tech up. After both went for Temple Archives, they can't really afford to try to tech switch here. It'll be horrible for them. Most quite possibly deadly. And with all those Dragoons on the ground, you want to be very careful, of course, with your Reavers, but there are also possible storms, an Archon catching a shuttle. Bad news. And yeah, of course, Reavers are huge risks against storms. Bisu keeps getting the upgrades now, probably gonna does have weapons 2 at this point. Free still sticking to weapons 1, and Bisu gonna have a weapons tech advantage. Free now gonna take the inside 4 o'clock, or just the 4. Let's call it the 4 o'clock, even though it's not quite up against at the end of the map. There's no outside there. Free having a few probes glitching for him, unfortunately. Trying to distance mine or maybe ferry them, just getting caught among all of his gateways. So many gateways. Just, in pro games, just these couple of probes that are getting caught, this could be very bad for it. Just like that. Probes finally managed to ferry outside. Quite several probes trying to ferry to the new base that Free's coming up. Bisu now going out, gonna start destroying the Xel'Naga temples in the middle, probably to give himself some more maneuverability. Is gonna take the 10 o'clock base. Decides not to stop destroying them. Possibly saw the maneuverability from Free coming up. Just all going to come down to, I think this entire game is going to come down to one huge engagement. What's going to happen? This is not like a TVT where one player eventually sees, crap, I'm economically screwed, I'll GG now. But here it's all going to come down to one huge engagement between 2 large armies. Free's army a little bit more zealot heavy, I believe. Actually, nothing good for a surround. Not quite sure if they spotted enough. Bisu's still trying to take down these Xel'Naga temples with all of his forces. We're going to see whether actually going to be a huge battle in the middle. We're going to see how Free himself decides to put these forces. All the Xel'Naga temples are down. And now there is going to be an engagement. Free going to run back a little bit, trying to collect his force together. One storm coming up from Bisu, catching a lot of force, catching the observer as well. Free's own storms hit pretty decently, catching a lot of zealots as they move in against each other. Storms all over the place. Zealots engaging in zealots. Storms coming off on Dragoons everywhere. And Free now has his own storms playing all over the field. Bisu getting caught with a lot of storms, but still has forces down the ground. Just more forces despite being killed by so many storms. Weapons 1 advantage. Weapons 2 advantage over Free for Bisu coming in so in handy. Is going to lose his Archons, but is going to be able to hold back the forces of Free. Another 2 storms coming in. Bisu not microing his Dragoons until far too late, getting some of them killed, unnecessarily deaths there, but does manage to barely hold on. Reinforced moving in now in the name of 4 High Templars and several Zealots. Is going to move towards the inside 5 o'clock base here, and that could be the ending point here. Storms coming off for Bisu here, trying to kill probes alongside force on the ground. High Templars storming each other and themselves and everything, and now you can see the look on Free's face. He's not too happy. Most likely has lost this at this point. Free Bisu now has 2 Archons moving in and start killing. Free has reinforcement Dragoons coming on the way. I'm not seeing too many reinforcements coming in more for Bisu. I think that was it for now. But Free overall does barely manage to hold this base hold. He lost a lot of forces. Gonna completely ignore the Zealot. Ignoring the Zealots. I was looking around. The Zealot's like, I can't kill a whole Nexus by myself. What are you talking about? I'm gonna run off to my death and become a Dragoon in the Dragoon later on. No freaking way can I survive this. Oh, God. But yeah, Bisu's main mined out. Natural still mining some. The upper right out still mining. Also has Bisu had 5 bases. 4 of them full of mining. Free's main is still mining a little bit, so he's mining on 4 bases as well. Although he lost his lower left hand, so that's pretty bad. Another engagement coming in here. Both GG coming in for Free. Saw that Bisu had the superior force. Saw that as soon as he lost his battle, that was going to be it. So Bisu does get another chance against Jungbi to prove to himself as well as others that he can move on in this. If Bisu lost in round 32 of 2 tournaments, 2 MSLs in a row, that would be bad. He's been tearing things up in Pro League. What, guys? But yeah, he's been tearing things up in Pro League. So I really hope that he can transition himself well to Star League. He's always been a good MSL player. So Free, sad to see you go, man. But unfortunately, he had to get drawn into this humongous group of death that is B. So we're losing protosses left and right, people. Oh well. So Bisu versus Jangbi in the final match of the Group B, guys. Stay tuned. GG, wrenching out. Thanks for listening.